exciting things to talk about, and I'll do my best to answer your questions. Make yourself comfortable. We'll be getting started in about 1 minute. 1 minute. Make yourself comfortable. Hi, I'm Dr. Alex Loyd, and welcome to the iCodes YouTube live event. I'm Alex Loyd, and this is the first YouTube live event we've ever done. It's not the first one I've ever done, being a guest of someone else, but it's the first one we've done. It won't be the last. We're doing more and more YouTube stuff. Let me start with a little bit of a disclaimer. The iCodes are not intended to treat, heal, cure, diagnose any illness or disease. They work on the underlying spiritual issues of the heart only. And that's always been our story. It's really not a disclaimer, it's just the truth. I do believe that is the source of illness and disease, but we're working on the spiritual issues. Okay, I want to apologize. This was scheduled for last week, and we had technical difficulties doing our first YouTube live, and we were all there, but we couldn't get my video to transfer over to YouTube Live for some reason. So I apologize for that, but those things happen, and we're here now. All right. So, I'm going to go through some information about the iCodes, and then if we have any questions, I'll do my best to answer them. The iCodes are a set of recordings by me, professionally done. One for the Healing Codes, one for Trilogy. And these are from the Healing Codes Health um, home study program and the Trilogy Health home study program. Uh, they are mirrors of each other. All right. They're on the same issues, and that includes 485 health issues, which is probably anything you could name. If you were trying to name physical or mental, emotional health issues, that would include all of them, plus a whole bunch of other stuff, relationships, you name it. 485 issues, and you'll get the iCode for every one of those 485 issues. Okay. The iCode, each iCode is 5 or 6 minutes long. I believe it's 6 minutes long if it's a healing code, iCode. It's 5 minutes long about if it's or approximately a trilogy iCode. And by the way, this is the first time we have ever offered trilogy iCodes. And let me tell you a little bit about the origin of this. The iCodes for the healing codes, as best I can figure, is about the seventh most popular program we have ever released. There's the Healing Codes, Trilogy, Belief Mapping, Memory Engineering, the Love Code, um, uh, and then probably it would be the iCode, somewhere around there. We have offered the iCodes for the Healing Codes, I think, 5 different times, but the most recent one was more than 10 years ago. And this is kind of a case of lost and found. Um, we did that over several years, and what we learned is that whenever we offer the iCodes, we're going to sell out really fast, and we did. And back then, the iCodes came on a little MP3 player, and so you had to take that MP3 player along with you in order to use them. Today, we've upgraded from that, and now it's not MP3 anymore. You download it to your phone or your own device, iPad, whatever, and then you just flip to that screen and push play on the iCode that corresponds to the health issue that you want to work on. Okay, so it's just put in your earbuds, or even just don't put in anything and just let it play out loud and push play. We forgot about the iCodes because we kept selling out of them. They weren't in stock for people to buy on our shop. And over the years, we just forgot about it. And then I guess it was a few months ago, someone mentioned how much they loved using the iCodes. And I was like, iCodes? Whatever happened to the iCodes? And I looked, and sure enough, they weren't for sale. They haven't been for sale for over 10 years. And the Trilogy iCodes did not exist. We've created that since that kind of realization. And the iCodes, whether for Healing Codes or Trilogy, are me, and that's the bad part of them, saying a code. Like if it was the Healing Codes, I might say, left hand jaw, right hand bridge, and then wait the right amount of time until it's time for the next one. And then say the next one, both hands bridge, or whatever that it happens to be. And for Trilogy, it would start usually with acupuncture points. Okay. So I would, say the acupuncture points. And then after that, the governing and conception vessel activation. After that, the healing centers. After that, the healing code 2 position, and so on and so forth. Rapidized stress is the last one, whole body balancing, the one before that. But it's in real time, which means I say it and then I wait that amount of time until it's time to do the next thing. And that means that you never have to look at a piece of paper again. Okay, now a couple of things about that. is um, this is all about results as far as I'm concerned. Probably about 60% of the time today, when I do a healing code or trilogy, which I do every day, both, I do it without looking at a piece of paper, without even putting my hands in those places, just focusing as if I were putting my hands in those places. And to me, it's more powerful than if I put my hands in those places. And probably for the last 15 years, we have told people regularly, after you get, kind of in a groove with the healing codes or trilogy, try that. Try not actually putting your hands there or tapping there or whatever it is. Try focusing on it and imagining you're doing that and focusing on those places and just focusing there. All right? And regularly, I would say 20% to about a third of people will tell us, yeah, it works better for me too if I don't actually put my hands there. All right. Well, if you're doing it with the iCodes and not putting your hands there, that number goes up to about 50%. For about 50%, it works better to use the iCodes and not even put your hands there than to use the iCodes and put your hands there, or to not use the iCodes and put your hands there. All right, about 50%. If you do the iCodes and put your hands there, that works better than just doing the codes, looking at a piece of paper or any other way you can do them for 100% of people. And we've tested that with heart rate variability. We've gotten feedback from people regularly, etc. And that is just the truth. It works better for every single person using the iCodes, even if everything else you do is exactly the same. Okay? So there's no way this is not going to benefit you if you do the codes or trilogy on a regular basis. Even if you don't change anything except listening instead of looking at a piece of paper, it will make it more effective for you. And there'll be a percentage of you that it'll make it enough more effective that it'll get you over the hump to the result that you're looking for. Okay? Um, so, that's really kind of amazing. It's almost kind of like magic that you can do that and it works better for a significant percentage of people than actually putting your hands there, tapping or whatever. But I will say this. That's not just true with the healing codes and trilogy. That's true for most things in the energy world, whether it's Bradley Nelson's emotion code. Bradley's a good friend of mine, and I love the emotion code. It's wonderful. EFT, Gary Craig's a friend of mine. We both studied under Roger Callahan for years back in the early days. EFT works that same way for a lot of people where they don't actually do the tapping. They, put their hands over their heart or whatever and pray and really focus on where they would tap or put their hands or whatever. So it's not just the healing codes and trilogy, it's pretty much everything in the energy world. And that's one of the unique things about energy psychology and energy medicine. So I would say, just try it to see, how that goes for you. I said before, the bad thing is that it's my voice, but there is another side to that. I don't like my voice. I know how I sound. My southern accent. I tried to change it once and I couldn't do it. I'm glad I didn't now. But I will say a couple of things. When I recorded these iCodes for you, I was praying the whole time, and I put my body into what is called autonomic conflict, which is where you activate the sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system at the same time. And don't try that at home. It can be dangerous. All right. So I'm advising you don't do that. But I did it, and I believe I've found a safe way to do it. And what that does is it just skyrockets your energy. So when I recorded this, my energy was sky high and I was praying for you, the people that would use these. And I do believe that makes it more effective. But I'm sure people would disagree with that, argue with me, or whatever. But I absolutely believe that that's the truth. I would recommend with the iCodes doing the codes or trilogy the regular way for like 1 month. Most of you have already done it for more than 1 month, so that wouldn't be an issue. But it kind of muscle memories everything. It kind of ingrains everything. Which, okay, when you do this, what's happening inside the body? When you do this, what's happening inside the body? When you do this and this, what's happening inside the body? And then later, when you do the eye codes, if you're doing it, you can do them and go ahead and do that. That's fine. You'll get better results than you've been getting. But I would also try doing it without doing that and see if you're in the 50% that get just as good or better results with the eye codes without actually putting your hands there. All right. And we've heard that from a lot of people. And this really amazes me. I think it's because of the prayerful place I try to come from. But I can't tell you how many clients I've had who would call me and say, can you just dictate a code to me right now over the phone while we're talking? And they've all said the same thing, that if I get a code from your voice, and lately I've had a lot of people saying they do that with the recording I send them. A lot of people don't ever have to do the code. It completely integrates just from them relaxing and listening to me dictate the code. Well, this is a step beyond that. This is me doing the code in real time, not just dictating a code. So everything is kind of built in for you. Okay. And also, when we did the iCodes before, and they came with this little MP3 player, they were, I think it was twice as expensive. So now, where we can do it as a digital delivery that you download and then just, find that screen and push play on the code that you need for whatever your health issue is, makes that much more efficient and allows us to sell it to you for about half the price, if I'm remembering right, that we did before, which I believe is a real steal in this, in even in the energy psychology and energy medicine world. I would say outside of the healing codes and trilogy themselves and the instructions, adding the iCodes to that is the number one thing I know of to enhance your results. Now, prayer is already a part of that, or I would have said prayer. But since prayer is already a part of that, the iCodes are the number one thing I know of, and with experience with clients and with testing clients with heart rate variability when I used to have clients in person. The iCodes do more to boost the benefits than anything else I know of. So if you're serious about the healing codes and trilogy, I know you're all serious about your health and well-being and relationships and success and all of that. I believe this will superpower all of those things. And if it doesn't, we have a money back guarantee, of course. Return it, you've lost nothing. So, and one of the good things is that I don't think we'll run out of them this time, which we did every other time we've offered them. Again, because this is not an MP3 player, it's a digital download that you can put on any device you want. Okay? All right. So, That is the iCodes. And I'm so happy that they have now been found, and we created the one for Trilogy, and they are available again because I believe it'll be a benefit to everybody. And again, the 100% figure that if you've been doing the codes or Trilogy and now you just add the iCodes, it causes it to be more effective for every single person every single time. There's I've never seen one exception, and it happens that way with me as well. Okay, so if we have any questions or comments, um, I will do my best to answer questions. We don't have any right now. I don't think I did that good a job, but we'll give it another few minutes. And I believe these will be available until midnight Wednesday night, if I'm remembering correctly. Um, Midnight Wednesday night at this half price from the price we used to sell them at. All right, still no questions. I'll give you another couple of minutes here. Ah, uh, someone says, how do you decide which program to get? That I'm so glad you asked that because I forgot something. If you buy, most people have the Healing Codes and Trilogy. And actually, that's what I would recommend. I would recommend for whichever of the 485 issues you're working on, I would recommend doing the Healing Code for that and then immediately the Trilogy for that. But you don't have to. You can do just the Healing Code or just the Trilogy. So if you were only going to buy one, of course, I would buy the one that you use or the one that you use the most or the one that you intend to use the most. But we're doing a really great thing. The iCodes that I believe they're $99 are half price what we used to sell them for. I believe that was 11 years ago, and we're selling them for half of that now. But we're going a step further. If you buy one iCode, Healing Code, or Trilogy, and decide to also at the same time buy the other one, let's say you bought the Healing Codes iCodes, and now what we're going to do if you also want the Trilogy is that will be half price. So you can get both of them for like 150, where I believe the Healing Code by itself, iCodes, was $200 when we sold them 11 and 15 years ago. So if you want one, I would buy the one that you use the most or plan to use the most. But with this special deal through tomorrow night, you can get both of them for like 150, I believe, or maybe 149, something like that. Good question, and especially because I forgot to um, share that. All right. Any other questions? Thank you for that one. Someone asked, how do the iCodes fit into LT3? Um, I would do the iCodes just as they're dictated, and I would do the MC3 first, right before you start them. So do the prayer, do the MC3, then do the iCode for the Healing Code, the iCode for the Trilogy. That's what I would do. All right. Um, All right. Someone asked, is this the same as the ones we offered years ago? The Healing Codes is the same, only now it's a digital download instead of a MP3 player. The trilogy is new. Okay, someone asked, do I continue to do the Healing Codes as I've done or just do the iCodes? The iCodes are the Healing Codes and they are trilogy. It's just an audio of me saying the code and then pausing in real time. So it's the same codes. It's them being dictated by me in real time. So that all you have to do from now on is push play. And I would encourage everyone to try listening and focusing like you were doing, but not actually going there with your hands, because 50% of you that will work as well or better with the iCodes than actually doing your hands there. All right, let's see. Have another one here. Ah, if you get the opportunity, I'm curious about how the iCodes might interact with the Beyond Counseling information. Yeah, I would just do yeah, absolutely. You can do this on any of those Beyond Counseling 10, 12 issues that are a part of that program. Absolutely, you can. Someone asked, are the 485 issues for the Healing Codes or Trilogy? Both. It's we did the Healing Codes to cover virtually any health issue, physical, mental, spiritual, relational you could ever have, and also including success and failure. And then when we created Trilogy, we created the Trilogy codes for the same 485 issues. So they mirror each other. It's both. It's the same 485 issues. Now, for the Trilogy, which we created those codes new this time, we've never had that before because the Trilogy didn't exist then. We've been able to condense the Trilogy codes down to fewer codes, which is better. Fewer is better because you don't have to keep switching around and everything. So I believe the Healing Codes, all of those are in like 12 codes. And I believe for Trilogy, they're all in like 10 or something like that. But it's the same 485 issues. Good question. Can you do the healing codes for other people? Yeah, absolutely. Before you start, I would say I'm doing this code for Hope, who's my wife, in love. While I do it with the iCodes, I'm focusing not only on where I would do my hands and the tapping and all that, but I'm every once in a while I love Hope. Please heal this in Hope. And then when I'm done, I usually put my hands out and say, I release this code to Hope in love. And it absolutely works. Our coaches can tell you stories all night long of non-local healing, not only for humans, but animals. So yeah, you can absolutely do that. And it works great. It always has. That's not a new thing. Um, Yeah, and yes, Joy, yes, that is correct. But now they're download form, and we also have Trilogy now, not just the healing codes. Someone says I only know about the healing codes. Where do I get Trilogy? Just go to our website. Um, dralexanderloyd.com. Loyd is one L. All the two L's are crooks. That's a joke. Um, dralexanderloyd.com. No capitalizations, no spaces, no periods. Loyd is one L, and you'll find Trilogy. And that is our newest from about, 6 years ago that I believe combines like the top 12 natural healing modalities of all time into one 5-minute process that is very, very effective. But again, I would recommend doing both. Do a healing code and a trilogy on the same issue. And you can absolutely do that with the iCodes. All right. Anyone else? Those are all good questions. If anyone has another one before we sign off, that'll be fine. And we'll be doing more of these YouTube lives to for questions and answers, for maybe a short teaching and then discussion. Excuse me, things like that. So keep your eyes open for that if you're interested. And okay, another question. Um, ah, I'm so sorry. My husband just passed away from cancer. Do the I codes work on handling grief that I'm experiencing? Yeah, first of all, I'm so sorry for your loss. Yeah, they work great for that. I've never seen them not work for that. I had a client who called me one time. He was a new client and he didn't have a health issue. What had happened is his dad had just died unexpectedly. And his dad was his best friend, his mentor, his, North, his, however you want to say that. And he was supposed to speak at the funeral. And he said, I can't do it. There's no way. I'm not a good public speaker anyway. I'm not real comfortable with it. Plus, there's no way. I'll say one word and break down crying. And so I gave him the healing code at that time. Trilogy didn't exist for his grief with his father's death. And I asked him, I said, okay, when you think about your father's death, what do you think? What do you see? What do you feel? And he said, I see my dad laying in a box dead. And it just breaks my heart. And he said, I've been crying for days. And so he called me after the weekend and said that he did the healing code for that on the airplane on the way to the funeral. And in a very short period of time, I don't remember if it was two or three repetitions, but it wasn't many. He said the picture in his mind changed. And I said, okay, oh, well, cool. I love it when that happens. That happens with me all the time. What did it change to? And he said, instead of seeing my dad in a box dead, I was remembering all the wonderful times we had together. And he said, I got up to do the eulogy and he said, yeah, I cried, but it was appropriate crying and I got through it. And it was even funny and heartwarming. And people told me how much what I said meant to them and helped them in their grief and things like that. What psychology tells us from research is that normal grief should last about 6 months, and if it's something like huge, it should last about a year. And if it lasts longer than that, something's wrong. Okay. What I've experienced over the years is the healing codes and trilogy shrinking that time frame dramatically. Not always like that gentleman within like 30 minutes, but significantly. So, yes, I would absolutely have confidence that it would help that. All right? Anyone else? Let me just close saying again, um, if I'm right in my figuring, and that's dangerous, I'm probably not. This is like the seventh most popular thing we have ever done in 24 years, 24 and a half years. Only we lost it. We forgot about it. Um, every time we ever did it, it sold out and usually quickly. Um, so all I would ask you to do, give it a try. If it doesn't work for you, we'll give you your money back, but give it a try. And I think you will be, I think you'll be more than pleased. What most people say is, I was kind of shocked it made that big a difference. And we've heard that from people who've done the codes for years. Um, another question, where do I get the 485 issues? I think that's on the as part of what you get when you buy it. If I find out it's not, we'll make that list available to all of you who purchased. So one way or another, you'll get it. But I think it's part of it now. If it's not, we'll add it for free. All right, I'll give you one more minute or so. I was thinking this would probably be about 30 minutes. Okay. Well, thank you so much for coming. I hope you try the iCodes. Let us know how it's going. If you have any questions or difficulties, let us know and we'll help you troubleshoot. If it doesn't work, we'll give you your money back. But try it. In my experience, there's no way it will not increase your results. I don't care who you are, what your issue is, it always increases and usually pretty dramatically. So thank you very much. Regardless of whether you get the codes or not, have a wonderful, blessed day. Bye bye.